Yo, what's up everybody? It's me, WD Michael, and in today's YouTube video, we're going to be getting ourselves prepared for the brand new DLC coming up for the Pokemon Scarlet and Violet video games, the Teal Mask. Now, with the Teal Mask, we've been given some information about what's going to be in the game and some of the Pokemon. One of the biggest ones that we have been given was specifically about some new Pokemon evolutions that we've been given. There's been a couple of them, and in this video particularly, I want to talk about one of them because it was definitely one of my favorite, and it's a little bit hard to shiny hunt. And I know for myself, I definitely want a shiny of this version on day one. So in this video, we're going to be talking about how you can get one of the hardest shiny Pokemon in Pokemon Scarlet and Violet with almost zero effort. Like, it blew my mind how crazy easy this was. So what we're going to be doing in this video is we are going to be hunting Shiny Applin, because there is a brand new version of Applin's evolution line called Dipplin that we'll be able to get in the Pokemon Scarlet and Violet DLC, the Teal Mask. And I'm really excited. I love this Pokemon. Ever since Applin was released in Sword and Shield, I've loved its design, I loved its evolutions, and now that we're getting another evolution, I definitely want to make sure that I'm prepared as possible and get myself a Shiny Dipplin on day one. So what we're going to do in this video is we're going to talk about the easy method on how to do so that you can be as prepared as possible and have yourself a Shiny Dipplin day one. Let's get into it. All right, so with Shiny Applin, I said previously that it's extremely hard to hunt, and so what I want to do is talk about literally what you would normally do with the Shiny Applin and why this trick is so much easier and will save you just a ton of time. So basically, if you ever wanted to hunt Shiny Applin or Applins in general, you would want to come to the Tag Tree Thicket. It's got a bunch of trees that they spawn in, and it's going to be the area where you're going to end up finding them. Now, if you look at a tree in front of me, you'll see there's a tiny little red speck right in the tree. That is the Applin spawn for this area. Basically, there is one apple in a tree. That's it. There's no like family spawns where you get 5, 6 of them popping up all over the place, like when you make a sandwich, and you have just that massive wall of shiny or Pokemon that you get to choose from. It's not the case. You get one in a tree, and you can't up the there's not going to be a point where we make a sandwich and we see 5 Applin in a tree. It isn't going to work that way. And then also on top of it, you can't just come up to this Pokemon and just expect to battle it. You have to actually run into the tree, knock into it, and then it will drop. So on top of it not really having a lot of spawns out on the map, you also have to do something just to get it down on the ground to get the encounter. It's very hard, and it ends up being really time consuming. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut down that time frame by like 1,000%. It's going to be absolutely crazy. So first thing what we want to do is we want to come right here to this area in Tag Tree Thicket. It's right at the gate of Navi's squad base and the Tag Tree Thicket, because it's going to be an area where we've found that it works really well to get these to pop up on a really regular basis. Now before we do that, now that we're here, this is the area we want to be in. The next step of this is that we need to make a sandwich. Sandwiches are going to help us to, one, alleviate all these other spawns that are up on the map that you see, from the Shroodles, the Oinkolones, the Murkrow. All these Pokemon will go away because we're going to make a sandwich specifically tailored to Applin, which is going to be a dragon sandwich. So I'm going to make my sandwich right now. It's going to be a different recipe than I'm sure most of you have dealt with in the past. But I will make a new updated video about shiny hunting sandwiches and recipes here coming up soon. This is just the one that I've been using. It's the one that I've remembered and kind of stuck to my head. So this will be the one that I'm using. Okay, so we're at the sandwich maker. We've got our little picnic set up. So we're going to go and make a custom recipe. The one that I use, again, it's probably outdated. I know there's been a lot of information coming up about sandwiches, and there's probably some easier ones out there. And I'll look into that. I'll make an updated video about sandwich making and stuff like that. But for right now, for just this video and the sake of this video, this is the recipe that I use, that I've memorized because I've used this when it first came out. It's just kind of stuck with me, and I never really had any reason to look for a new one, I guess. But we're going to be using 1 tomato, 1 onion, 1 green bell pepper, and then it's a hamburger. So that's the base of the sandwich. And then all of the Pokemon typings have like an ingredient you have to put a couple of in that kind of set the tone for like what typing it is. Specifically for dragon type Pokemon, it is avocado. So we're gonna be putting 2 avocados into here. And then we also, we don't need vinegar. We do need 2 of our herbs of mystic to go into here. One thing that I would suggest doing before I get too far into this is always saving before you make your sandwich. The reason why you'd want to save before you make your sandwich is that, say you make your sandwich and you don't get any shiny Pokemon, what you can then do is actually just exit out your game and go back to where your save point was, so that you don't waste your salty, bitter, sweet, all these herbs of Mystica. You won't end up wasting them. So that's kind of the one thing where you can save some of your resources. I didn't do that, so I'm not super worried about it. I can go get more later, but something for you at home to think about when making these. So we've got our recipe here: tomato, onion, green bell pepper, hamburger, 2 avocados, and 2 salty herbs of mysticism. Let's get our party sparkler up in there. And then we'll go ahead and get our sandwich made. I found it really easy with this one. The normal ones, because you have to use tofu and it's super big, end up being really hard to make. But this one, because just avocado, is pretty easy. And because the hamburger is bigger than the tomato, I found that it's super easy just to stack all the tomatoes on top of the hamburger and put all the other ingredients kind of over here. When you get an ingredient too high, so if you notice right now, it hasn't changed the camera angle at all on me. If it goes too high, so once I add another tomato, the camera will actually like kind of adjust, and it'll actually change. So see where I'm dropping it? It'll actually make it so you have to drop it at different angles, because it ends up being higher. So it's kind of another one of the ways that they mess you a little bit to make sure you're paying attention. And we'll see that here when I add this other tomato. You'll kind of see the camera adjust right about there. So once that camera adjusts, it actually adjusts how the food drops onto the sandwich, and you got to adjust your angle. I've had it a couple times where it's done that when I was early making sandwiches, and I was like, wait, what happened? And pieces were falling off because I was trying to go at the same angle, and it doesn't work that way. You don't need the top bun. A lot of times with the top bun, if you drop it, it can make your sandwich fall apart. So it's just easier to throw the top bun on the ground and just move forward with your sandwich. That way you don't lose any of your ingredients. So and now we've got our sandwich. It looks like a sweet sea vessel. All right, so we got our giant boat. Honestly, I did it. Yeah, we got that dragon sandwich with 2 dragon Pokemon. Let's go. All right, so we should see encounter 3 dragon, title power 3 dragon, and encounter power dragon, or I'm sorry, with sparkling power. So shiny Pokemon, titles, and encounters. So that's gonna make it so that they spawn in a bunch, hopefully get a better chance of getting a shiny one. And then also, even if we're lucky, we might also get a title on our Pokemon. So now with this, what we're gonna be doing, like I said, we got to come to the tag tree thicket. We got to go where this gate is, and the reason is because there's a specific tree that we want to utilize for this shiny hunt. Now, if you look above me, there is an Applin above me. It's still red, but if you look in that tree right in front of me, this is the tree that we are going to be going for. And there's a couple of things that you have to have in order for this to work. One, you must be on your riding mount, either at the Miraidon or the Koraidon. You have to be on top of it. You also have to have your Koraidon in your party as your first Pokemon so it can go out and do its battle. So what you're going to do is you're going to actually send your Koraidon out to this tree. And now if you notice, there's a couple of like things with this and how it ends up working, that if the Koraidon isn't close enough to the tree, the Applin will not drop from the tree. So if he turns around and does all that kind of weird stuff, you just have to readjust him and use your right bumper to send him back out and get him positioned under the tree where he's close enough to where the Applin will keep falling. If he turns around and he's looking at you, chances are they'll stop spawning in, so you just kind of readjust them. But what you want to do is you want to position yourself at this fence. There were some previous videos where I got this information from, specifically from Osiris. So big shout out to Osiris, creating a lot of really amazing content. It was originally where I got the information for this tutorial. But he was saying to stand on the tree in front of me. I found that when I was standing by that tree that I ended up, the Koraidon ended up messing up and he would move around and I'd have to reset him a lot more often. I have found with myself and with what I've done is that if I come to this fence right here, that I almost never have to adjust my Koraidon. He will basically stay there the entire half an hour sandwich. And this is it, folks. This is literally all you got to do. And we'll kind of go over this really quick, but basically this is an AFK method of getting a shiny Applin and getting a ton of encounters, because that's one of our biggest problems with hunting this Pokemon is the encounter rate. There's just not enough Pokemon encounters on the map to make this a quick shiny hunt. So this is something that's going to help us blast through these encounters really quick, because I mean, we've already knocked out probably 10 of these, and to get 10 of them on the map before would be, you know, running into trees and doing a bunch of stuff. It would have probably taken us 2-3 minutes to get this many spawns in. So a bit of a recap. One, Shiny Applin is insanely hard to shiny hunt. So with this method, you can basically AFK hunt this. What you need to do is you need to make yourself a sandwich in the tag tree thicket near Navi's base entrance. Come to this 2 sets of trees, get yourself a dragon sandwich. You want to make sure that it's got a dragon sandwich with encounters and sparkling power. If you want something else, fine, but those are the 2 main ones you have to have. Then what you want to do is you want to have your Koraidon in your main party, like your first Pokemon in your party. You want to get on your Koraidon as a mount, or Miraidon, and you want to come right here. And you want to send your Koraidon out to do auto battles, and you will stand underneath this tree, and what will happen is you will force these Applin to keep spawning in and dropping, because you've got that shiny sandwich with the encounters. It's going to keep sending these out and keep spawning them, because that's what the game is being told to do. All the other spawns around the map are gone, so we don't have to worry about him running off. It's very easy just to sit here and watch as Applins keep dropping from the sky, and it's sooner or later you will end up getting yourself a shiny Applin. Now, the chances for this are roughly, if you have the shiny charm, if you have the sandwich, all that kind of stuff, is about 1 in maybe like 600-ish. I don't know the exact number, but it's not like it's going to be 1 in 100 and you're going to get it within a couple. You might be really lucky, you might get it in a couple minutes, but chances are you may end up using a couple of sandwiches while you're doing this. So just make sure you save the game. Realistically, just save that game. That way, if you do end up spending a half an hour here and you don't get a shiny, you don't waste those resources. You just come right back and keep going for it. So yeah, honestly, I'm really excited for the DLC. This is one of the absolute top Pokemon that I want to make sure that I'm prepared for when the DLC comes out and that I have a shiny one, because I don't actually have a shiny yet. And this will help me, one, get all the other shiny variants of it, and on top of the brand new Dipplin form, which I cannot tell you how thrilled I am to be getting that Pokemon. Dipplin looks amazing. I love the Pokédex entry on it. I think it's super cool that it's basically 2 Pokemon crammed up inside of that apple. I didn't know that initially, but after reading through the Pokédex and stuff and finding that out, I was really excited. I think it's a really cool Pokemon, and I'm really ready for it. So this will be the end of kind of the tutorial guide on this one. It's not really that technical. There's only a couple things you really got to make sure you do, and if you do it, it's just this easy. You could just stand here and watch your game farm these Applin for you and get yourself a shiny Applin before the game comes out. So hopefully this helps you out. Thank you all so much for coming out to my YouTube video where I go over the easiest way to basically AFK farm for a shiny Applin in the Pokemon Scarlet and Violet video games, so that you can get as prepared as possible for the upcoming DLC, the Teal Mask, and get yourself a shiny Dipplin on day 1. Again, big shout out to Osiris, man. You are a fantastic content creator, and your content has been absolutely something that I look up to, and a great source of just like inspiration. You make fantastic content, man, so thank you so much. I wouldn't have known about this particular kind of guide on Applin without you, so big shout out to you. There were a couple things, like I said, from his original video that I found didn't work quite as well for me, so that's why I wanted to make this video. I also had a lot of people asking me how to actually do this, so I figured why not make my own of this video, and it was really enjoyable. I love doing these, and I'll definitely do some more shiny hunting tutorials. Specifically, I think for the next one we'll talk about Poltergeist, because we might want to shiny hunt and get ourselves a shiny Poltergeist, and we can do that by getting a shiny Sinistea. So that might be a video that I start working on here shortly and getting prepped for the next one. If there's any other videos that you would like to see me create before the Teal Mask comes out to help you get prepared for it, please let me know in the comments. I would absolutely love to hear about it, because if it's something that I can do and I can help you out with it, I'd absolutely love to, and I'll get it in the works and get it going for you. But again, thank you all so much for coming out to the YouTube video. It's been an absolute blast. All the support recently has been absolutely fantastic, and I cannot thank you all enough. We are getting so close to 1,000 subscribers on YouTube and getting that YouTube partner, and I'm so ready for it. I'm pushing, and I definitely want it. I think with the DLC coming out with the Teal Mask, I think before the end of this year, I think we might end up getting it. So I'm really excited about that. And again, I cannot thank you all enough. Seriously, thank you. It's been a blast, and I'm not going anywhere. Even once we get partner, I will still be here, and I will be making plenty of content for you all. So thank you. I hope you have a fantastic day out in Paldea trainers, and I will see you next time. Peace.